Hey, StarCrafters, Wookie here, and I've not been playing a whole lot lately, but I did find two games that I happen to be, going over my replays and watching. It's not that I don't want to play; it's just that I'm in my mortgage years, and life can get in the way. So I found a couple, and I thought it might be worth looking at to see kind of how I've evolved my play over the last, I don't know, couple of months. So here is a game I played quite some time ago. I'm the Blue Terran, and my opponent is Stalvogel, the Red Protoss. And more important than the way the game actually plays out is how I played the game. So we're going to take a look at that, and then after this one I'm going to show you a game where I also play Terran, and I have a much different approach to it. But they're going to look kind of similar. So here I'm just going to speed through this front, and we're going to look at what I do. And I'm not trying to get too fancy with my builds. I pretty much try to do the same thing every time, but just do it better each time. So right away, one barracks into two barracks, and I'll spoil it for you. This goes into three barracks. And the important thing I want to note is what happens with all these Marines. I'm going to look at my unit counting station so you can just see how I'm pumping them out. I'm behind on SCVs, of course. That's funny. In a sad way, not in a good way. But here I go, and I'm going to pause the game at 7 minutes. We're at 6:30 and going pretty quick, so almost 7 minutes. 7 minutes, and I've got units here, and we're going to look at my camera. I scouted once, and does this look like the way you play, maybe? I mean, do you just make your buildings and pile everything at your ramp behind your wall in and wait for things to happen? Because at this point in my playing, I don't know if you want to call it a career, because I really don't make a dime doing this. But at this stage, and there's some lag, nice. This is what I was doing. I was just so worried about making buildings. You can see I got all my barracks hotkeyed on 5. I got my command center on 4. My scouting Reaper, which by the way was a complete catastrophe, on 1. And I start getting my upgrades, and I'm just cranking units. But I haven't done anything with them. They're just sitting there. They're not doing a darn thing for me. And then when my opponent comes with the attack, I repel it, of course, because I've got the high ground and a wall. And then I decide, now that I've got this big bio ball, that I'm just going to run in there and devastate him. Because I've spent all that time saving up units so that I can go apparently die. So that was, I'm going to go ahead and call that bad. That was really bad. And then my opponent takes the opportunity to set up a proxy pylon here and keep warping in units. I'm going to speed the game up again. So like I said, the way this game plays out, less important than the way I played it. And here I go again. And look at all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Now, he could have just walked up here and killed me, I think. No, it's after this battle. So there was a bunch of stuff dying, and right about this point, he could just walk up the ramp and kill me. I've got a handful of units, but he doesn't. But look at the map. Look at the mini-map. I am stuck in my base. My opponent has a hardy contain going here. He's expanded to the high yield. And the army tab shows that I'm down 49 under 92 supply. Income tab, for some reason I'm ahead, but this is going to pick up here in just a second, change all that, and I'm down harvesters. Just a bad situation. So I'm going to load up another game that I played more recently. It shows a little bit of an evolution in my play style, and we're going to see how that game goes. It's in a different version though. It's after a patch, so I will be right back with that. Okay, so here's game number 2, and I happen to be Terran in this game as well, and my opponent this time is RCK, also Terran, on Delta Quadrant. And what we're going to see from this game is going to look a lot similar as far as what's in my base, but we should see what I believe is an improvement in the way I actually play. So moving right along, go ahead and hotkey set up that, put that on 5, buddy. What are you doing? There we go. As soon as you get a structure down, you can add it to your tabs, by the way. So I try to get in the habit of, as soon as it goes down, adding it to my control group so I don't forget. Now, barracks into barracks, and roll. What happened right there? We're at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And my Marines are out on the field. Remember last game it was like 7 minutes, and I had every unit I ever built, every combat unit anyway, piled up right here behind my wall. And this is the big difference in the way I'm doing things. There they are, tracked them down finally. So I poke up this ramp, find one Marine, and I only see, okay, now all 3 of them are flashing, but at the time only 1 was flashing. So I know that I've got an advantage on him, so I'm just going to stand here until these units kick out. Now that it's a fair fight, I'll back off. But I've already made a little push, shown a little aggression, and I happened to walk into a situation where I had an advantage, so I pressed it a little bit. And I think that actually supply capped him for a moment there. We can see he's going into 3 barracks. Here I come up the ramp again, and I saw a fair fight. We had about the same number of units, so I backed out. But I've got my barracks all rallied, and look, this is very similar to the way my front looked in the game we just saw, but I'm rallying my units instead of behind my supply depot at my ramp. I'm putting them out here. I've already pushed at him. Now he's getting his reactors. He's teching up pretty fast. Maybe a little too fast, I don't know. But now he's in a position to really start cranking out units. But luckily for me, since I'm being aggressive, and I've already made that poke and slowed him down, that supply depot I took out set him back. It capped him for a second. So you can see he's just cranking out units right now. But I get here and I notice that I have an advantage at the front. I didn't see those at the back, but by the time they got to the front, I'd already taken out the units I could see. And this, I mean, sure, I lost half my army, but he lost all his army. And my macro, I'm keeping up on it. You can see that on the mini-map. I'm streaming units in. I should have re-rallied to the top of the ramp, so I didn't have to go back and fetch those units. But a little bit of aggression at the front, getting my units out on the map, and taking pokes up the ramp. I was able to see that I was ahead and just continue to be ahead. In my base, nothing terribly different from the way I was doing things before. I was just a little less on the timid side, a little more comfortable out on the map with my units, and detected. I just snapped my fingers. You guys probably didn't see that, but I was able to detect an advantage and press it, and end that game pretty quickly. So that's something to think about on Bronze League when you're getting to that point where your macro is better and you're not missing nearly as many harvesters. You can see I had an advantage on this game. So you can keep your harvesters going, keep your mules dropping, keep your money producing, of course. Keep your money producing units, and I'm back to 1,000. You know, I could have expanded at this point, you know, if the game had gone on, done some things, but I put myself in a much better position to win than in that previous game we saw, and in many of the previous games that I've played. So I'm ranked 2 now in my Bronze League. So give me another 6 months or a year, maybe I'll be in the Silver League. And then I can start a whole new series. So there you go, guys. GLHF on your ladder. And I'll see you next time I learn something.